the first ever WWE all-women pay-per-view Evolution, and since then, people have been asking, where is Evolution 2? Sasha Banks been asking that, Beth Phoenix asking that, and we have so many dream matches that we want to see. So these are the matches that we want to see. The past versus present Evolution 2 dream matches. Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
The Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And I am your dad bod demigod. My name's Joey Mayberry, and I'm wearing my shirt that I got at the first Evolution.
And you've got Trish and Lita there.
Yes, and they have their nifty little chair here. I'm Evolutioned out, you guys.
So today we're going to talk about 10 dream matches that we have for Evolution 2. Evolution has been rumored for so many months. They've been talking about how there will be Queens of the Ring. So many people want Evolution 2 and we're just waiting for it to happen. We'll get to help you hyped up for it even more by listing out all our dream matches for Evolution. So my first dream match is Charlotte Flair versus Victoria. Yes. Charlotte Flair already had that legend killer match with Trish Stratus, retiring her yet again. And that match was great.
Oh, it's so good.
Really, really good.
As a person who doesn't want to see Charlotte Flair in the title picture, not ever again, but like in the next couple of years, I know that she needs that 16 times. So I think it would be really good if she can like really dig into that female legend killer gimmick so we can see more legends come back and have great matches. So I want to see Charlotte Flair have that match with Victoria, because Victoria is a legend that WWE don't talk about enough.
Or at all, really.
Why? Is there a reason why? Is there like a known reason why?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculations about it.
There's been a lot of Raw reunions and people returning, and there's no Victoria.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's because I went to TNA, but, you know, I did a tweet in the past, like...
You know, WWE is very petty like that.
That's stupid.
But yeah, she first of all has the most legendary theme songs, Nicki Minaj and Tattoo. And she was in the first women's steel cage match. She's got some amazing matches, WrestleMania matches, 3 times women's champion. She is absolutely a legend. And for WWE to not even acknowledge her is so sad. But on top of that, I think Charlotte and Victoria has like some kind of similarities where they're both like a bigger statured women who can do both technical stuff and power moves. So I think 2 of them will have a really, really amazing match, but also battle of moonsaults, because both of them do some cool moonsaults.
You know, I miss Victoria's moonsault. She doesn't get enough credit for her moonsault.
I agree. And the Widow's Peak was always such an underrated move, too, that I don't think a lot of people even to this day do a lot, but Widow's Peak always looks so devastating.
Oh yeah, I was so excited to see Abaddon bring that back because somebody needed to actually do it.
I mean, Peyton Royce kind of does it, but she doesn't have the amazing setup, so.
Totally.
Or amazing theme music.
Victoria did announce her retirement, and she talked about it on our interview with Ring the Bell, but she tried to retire on her peak.
This is my last year. I still want to be good out in the ring and people to remember and not feel sorry for me.
So that means when WWE wants her to wrestle again, especially with someone like Charlotte, I think she'll come back. So I want to see this match happen. But let's go to Paloma's first pick.
Mine would be Io Shirai versus Lita. Another battle of the moonsaults.
Yes.
First of all, Lita versus anybody, I just really want to see, because I love Lita and she definitely was my favorite growing up. But also, like, I feel like she needs like a Trish send-off that she was able to have with Charlotte. And I feel like Io Shirai would be that great counter with her. Because they almost give me kind of like similar like vibes, like kind of like gritty, but so good. They both have amazing moonsaults. I mean, I've never seen a woman do a moonsault before until I saw Lita do a moonsault. And I never seen a woman do such a pretty moonsault as Io does. And I think they're both students of the game. Like, they're both really love wrestling and go back and like study old school wrestling and like wrestlers. And like, I mean, Lita trained in Mexico. One of the biggest influences for Io is Rhea. So I think that'd be a good clash of styles. They're like similar where it could still mesh, but still different. Well, they'll give us something fresh.
I love the idea. I totally agree with you that Io's got the prettier moonsault than Lita, even though this past week we got to see her hit that moonshot on Shotzi and do just the shin, so it was very Lita style.
What?
But I think this would be an amazing match. I think Io would bring out the best in Lita because she would really bring that kind of speed to somebody who's also, you know, getting, you know, up there in wrestling age.
Both of them are pretty like extreme, but I think their style is very different. Io, everything's super crisp and fast. Lita's had that kind of rough edges when it comes to her moves. It's very cool. So I think two styles mashed together would be very interesting. Joey, what's your first pick?
Beth Phoenix versus Becky Lynch.
Yes!
You're gonna have to bear with me for about 3 weeks of programming ideas. Mix Max Challenge 2. The final two teams, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Beth Phoenix and Edge. That match, much like WWE likes to do, will end in a double countout or double disqualification because you can't have either team look bad, can you? Setting up the Evolution match, for the match that would be the rubber for the two teams would be Beth Phoenix versus Becky Lynch, one-on-one. Winner decides the stipulation for the mixed tag team match.
I love that booking, Joey.
I love that there's a whole storyline behind it. I mean, there's way more thought into this than most of the matches going on now.
And you know what's really funny is that they had this Twitter war.
That's what I wanted.
So when Beth Phoenix came back for WrestleMania, she was on the European tour, and she had some interactions with Becky Lynch when Becky was like, Beth, do not touch my belt. Even though Beth on TV only had big WrestleMania program, and she's doing commentary now, she can still go, as we all saw in Royal Rumble. She was bleeding, but she's still MVP of that match. So I think her versus Becky will be amazing, but added their husbands.
Also, don't forget Becky Lynch doing that, hey, don't break your neck getting out the ring promo.
Careful you don't hurt your neck again going through those ropes.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. Becky does have interaction with Edge, too, so it's perfect.
Great idea. You're hired, Joey.
Please, I'm so poor.
Does Seth and Edge have any interaction?
I've dreamed about that. Was that an outside thought? That's supposed to be an inside thought.
I love it, especially the build-up for it. We, again, make great promos and great vignettes for it. But I also think I just want to see Beth versus anybody, quite honestly, because she's one of those kind of like Melina. I mean, she kind of got the tail end of like the people coming in now, but I feel like her versus so many people would be great.
So my second pick would be Bianca Belair versus Jazz. And I'm saying it because whenever Bianca does a chicken wing move, which she does a lot.
Held up here. Oh man, an homage to the Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix.
Commentaries always go, the shade of Beth Phoenix, the homage to Beth Phoenix, but we really know that before Beth Phoenix is Jazz. And you know, like the style that actually Bianca is doing is like more similar to Jazz's style anyway, because she doesn't sit down with it. I think Jazz will be a great opponent for Bianca because of some of the power moves that she does. And guess what? Jazz still wrestles. Jazz has been wrestling very recently, being a NWA Women's Champion, so she still wrestles. So I think this will be a great match. Let me hand this over to Paloma, the biggest Jazz fan. Tell me a little bit about Jazz, because Jazz is also some of the legend that WWE never mentions.
I just want to know why. Like, really, like, Jazz is such a unique style, especially when she first debuted. Like, there was no other woman like her. She's a badass bitch, and she's unapologetically that, even to this day. And it's crazy because I think they tried to partner up with Rodney Mack, but quite honestly, she was still the scarier one out of the two. She's such a badass. Still brings it, and now I think with Bianca Belair could almost be like a passing of the torch type of thing, as opposed to like who's better. Like I would much rather it see like as a like I gift this to you, and or you could use my move type of deal. But I just feel like Jazz is like no other, and to be the first of something, I think really stands out the most. And I think Bianca, it channels her inner Jazz a lot. Like I see a lot of Jazz style and influence with Bianca. I don't know if she does that on purpose or not, but I would love to see them versus, or honestly as a tag team.
Oh, I love this idea. And I want to also state that I'm very upset that Jazz never called one of her moves All That Jazz. I think that's severely underdue.
You know, I think WWE also has some issues with female legend because there are not a lot of women of color in that legends that WWE acknowledges. Like Jazz made some of the people that we treat as like the legends, like Trish Stratus. I think Jazz made who she is, especially early on in her career. And given that Bianca Belair is all about the Black empowerment, I think that bringing in legend like Jazz, a few women of color in that era would be a great match. But let's go to the second pick by Paloma.
Mine's a little bit more recent, but some people can maybe almost think of her as a legendary status since she's not around too much. But it'll be Toni Storm versus Becky Lynch.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be so fun and interesting? because I feel both of them have like similar backgrounds of them being in the indies and them traveling the world and perfecting their craft. They just both have like almost natural charisma, and almost, I hate saying this because I hate genderizing stuff, but they're very masculine charisma, like going for it. And I feel like both of them have like really cool submissions that they could try and like out counter each other with that too. And I don't know, I just really love Toni Storm, and I really love Becky Lynch, and there'd be a great battle of the accents too. Similar vibes to me, like they both could be the lead singer of any rock band as well as awesome women wrestlers.
I love this match idea. I love just the chemistry that could come from both of these two, but also I don't feel like we're too far off from seeing this match completely happen, period.
If you could pick anyone for you to have a match with in WWE that's not in NXT UK, who would you like to get in there with?
I've always said Becky Lynch. I don't know, I just feel like there's this chemistry already before we've even stepped into the ring together.
I'm excited to see what the storyline could possibly be.
Toni was the winner of Mae Young Classic, but after that she kind of disappeared, especially in UK after winning the title and all. What happened?
She really didn't have much of a flair when she was champion. She was one of those people that her chase towards the belt was awesome and wonderful. But once she got that strap on her, yeah, it was like, here, belt on, charisma off. Like, it just didn't connect. I think her feud with Kaylee Ray into that transition was really good. I thought she was about to transition over to NXT until COVID kind of reared its ugly head. But that's where I think her next trajectory is.
So, maybe having that match with Becky can fire up who she used to be. Joey, let's go to your second pick.
So, my second pick is a bit of a stretch, but hey, let's dream big. I want a 4-way Hell in a Cell match. I want Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Shayna Baszler. Give it to me now.
Okay, why those 4?
Just a mix of everything. You've got Shayna, who's just this badass, I'm gonna break you apart methodically type heel. Then you've got Rhea Ripley, who's just coming in swinging, very brawler. You've got the genius of Shirai and Io Shirai that's going to bring that high-flying element. And then you've got Bianca Belair, who's just a superhuman who can take all of those aspects and kind of roll them up into one. And then all 4 women, charisma bar none. This match would snap and in such a good way.
I mean, those 4 are very much the future of WWE Women's Division. So I do definitely want to see who would come out as the winner of that match.
I think this is more like of a who's who of NXT, because everybody who you just mentioned had a great run in NXT. So I think it would be great to see like a capstone of like a superlatives of NXT in one match, in a Hell in a Cell match. Why not?
Yeah, it just seems like they keep, up in the ante a little bit each and every time they, add a stipulation to an NXT women's match. Like last year, that entire William Regal promo where he was just like, War Games! The crowd popped so hard for that. Could you just imagine, Hell in a Cell with these 4 women on the main roster, especially in front of a crowd? Give it to me. I will eat it like popcorn.
I'll go with my third pick, Alundra Blayze versus Rhea Ripley. It's because I know that Alundra Blayze tweet about this all the time. She wants one more match in WWE. And, she is that legend of her era. She's a top star of that era. Who represent the future? I think the Rhea Ripley is really like the icon of the future of WWE. She was the first NXT UK Women's Champion, the first NXT Women's Champion to defend her title at WrestleMania, and she's got that very different vibe from all the women that we see nowadays. So I think these two having a match will be amazing. The iconic past versus future match. And I think it would be really cool to have cinematic match with monster trucks. First of all, Alundra Blayze, Medusa, she's known in the monster truck world too. But who else can do monster truck in WWE? I know that Becky has some kind of truck.
Winner gets to keep a monster truck.
But Rhea Ripley with the truck will be amazing.
This is my big monster truck! I love it. I also think too, Alundra Blayze will probably is watching the women's division now and be like, shit, if I only was in the women's division now. Whenever she was a top star, there was really not much to work with, quite honestly. And I do think that a lot of the legends that were there at one time, like, man, the things that I could do if I was a superstar now. And I think this would be a great glimpse into that. And I think you have a great cinematic monster truck match. I never thought I would want to see that, but I'm living for it.
It would so be called Monster Truck Mayhem. You know that to do that.
Let's go to Paloma's third pick.
Bianca Belair versus Melina.
Oh,
because it's the epitome of like super strong versus super bendy. Because Melina's extremely flexible. One of my favorite moves was whenever Melina would kick herself in the head. So I would love that. I saw Mischief do that whenever she wrestled Cheerleader Melissa through like Shimmer Volume 1. It would be great because I feel like both of these would play up to the strengths of each other. Like Melina is more petite and more flexible. So it would be great for Bianca to throw her around. It should be a great bait for her too. And Bianca's so strong and powerful that she look great against somebody like Melina that can do a lot of bendy, cool, flexible things. I don't think it's a match that a lot of people would necessarily think as the go-to dream match, but I think their styles are so different that it would work great together because it definitely emphasizes what they're both good at.
I also think their characters mesh really well because they're both very huge character. Melina in her heydays with her slap to Maria. Bitch! All her segments towards all the Playboy cover girls, amazing. She's a Hellcat, so I think two of them meet together would have amazing segments.
Melina versus the Playboy girls was my first WrestleMania. It was Bunny Mania, was what I saw. The lights went out. It was sad. I think that Melina would totally bring a flair to Bianca Belair's game because now you don't just have this one competitor in the ring going, I'm the best, I'm the best. You got both these girls in the ring going, I'm the best, I'm the best.
And both of them have so much attitude. And so much sassiness from both of them. The promos, the vignettes for this. Oh, I'm here. Take my money.
I want to see Melina sell that hair whip so bad. I think it'd be great.
Also, I feel like Melina is just one of those person that has so many dream match potentials. Everyone's talking about Melina versus Sasha Banks. Obvious reason, very similar wrestling style. And Naomi versus Melina, they both talked about how they wanted that match for Evolution 1, so maybe that's gonna happen too. But Melina, just excitement general. Overall, she's such an exciting person to match up with anyone. Joey, what's your third pick?
So, it's very similar to Paloma's pick, actually, but I picked someone else to go up against Lita. It's Lita versus Shotzi Blackheart.
That's gonna be some like sriracha hair color match.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll both do like a running headbutt and it's gonna look like Christmas.
Or sriracha.
With this one, I'm really just excited because I feel like Lita and Shotzi both have that instant relatable, non-verbal way to get over. All they really had to both do is walk to the ring and be themselves, and they're instantly over because their charisma is just like top notch. Bringing these two similar styles and characters to the ring to face each other would make for a really entertaining match.
You know, when I first saw Shotzi, she reminded me a lot of Lita. The way she hurls her body around, it's just like a daredevil. She does not give a She just is there to be extreme, and it's really awesome.
I think they both have that punk rock feel, that not only feel, but like that punk rock attitude of like doing your best and just giving your all, even if it means sacrificing your body. I mean, how many crazy bumps have we seen both of them do? And I also think almost like Shotzi could be like this generation's Lita, where like little girls who are not necessarily the girliest can look up to somebody who looks cool and different and be like, oh, look, there's somebody who's not necessarily your society or stereotypical person that I could look up to and be super cool.
And because it's a 10 list, I'm just going to do one more. So the match I want is a triple threat tag match. The IIconics versus LayCool versus the Divas of Doom. So that's the match I want. This is difficult to happen for 3 reasons. First of all, IIconics broke up. Second of all, Layla always says no to any type of return, which I'm going to ask her when I meet her this weekend. And third of all, we all know that Beth and Michelle has some issues over that glam slam spot.
It could be just Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse all over again.
I mean, it could be.
Maybe we see a match in the future.
Nah.
No.
But the reason I really want to see this match is because, including Bella Twins, these 3 teams are like the very few, like the legitimate teams that we have in the women's wrestling history. We don't have too many of them. And we've got Jumping Bomb Angels and all that, but these are the very few teams in the modern era
that are established, not just
exactly.
Hey, y'all are standing next to each other. Y'all are a tag team.
And then, Bella Twins, unfortunately, they can't wrestle anymore. But these three, they can still wrestle.
Well, I'm a little offended that on your list of established teams, you didn't mention PMS. So I'm offended.
I would definitely love to see this because, we were talking about, there's really not that many established tag teams. So where there's actually a reason why they're tag teams other than them standing next to each other, it'd be a great storyline because there was a one point where there was no women tag teams. So now they're having a match with a whole bunch of women tag teams that represent almost different eras of WWE would be great.
Honestly, Natalya and Beth Phoenix, that team, they can still freaking go. Beth retired because there's nothing else I can do. So she can still go. She can come in, beat up Shania Payne. I just want them to get back to it. And this weekend, Layla, I'll convince her to come back.
She's gonna yell no at you.
Which I would gladly take it. Any last minute honorable mentions that you want to see?
This will probably never happen, but say, hey, it's an honorable mention and a girl can dream. Bull Nakano versus Mercedes Martinez.
Honorable mention for me is a Legends meets newcomer match. Molly Holly and Tegan Knox versus Victoria and Candice LeRae.
Wow, I would have never thought about that in a million years, but now that you mentioned it, I'm like, yeah. And we can't forget about Paloma Star versus Kelly.
And Joey, what's your thought on Trish versus Alexa? Do you ever want to see that?
Please, dear Lord, because I just want to hear Alexa make fun of Trish for saying business.
I'm going to take care of business.
All right, but that is our dream list for the Evolution 2. Let us know what you want to see at Evolution 2 down below in the comments section. I'm flying out to LA to interview Layla. And to interview her, I recreated some of her LayCool outfit. Let me show you.
It's amazing.
You're a nasty girl.
I'm flying out to LA to meet her at the Wrestling Guy store. It's happening October 3rd, Saturday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So if you want to see me and Layla, if you're in the California area, please come over. It's going to be once in 5-year opportunity because Layla's always hiding at Wrestling Guy store in LA, October 3rd, Saturday, 2 to 4 p.m. Where can we find you?
You can find me at the bus stop. No, you can find me at Joey_Mayberry across all social media and check out my show Tops and Bottoms here on the YouTubes.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Paloma Star. And DS, where can we find your beautiful face at?
You can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. All right, bye.
Bye.